How is it going, everyone? The long-rumored PlayStation State of Play has been officially confirmed for tomorrow, and along with that, we've already got a big confirmation as far as a game that's going to be showcased. It's a game that I've been calling for to be very much highlighted at this State of Play. It's one that I feel like was pretty, predictable, but good that we are going to get Saros gameplay. I thought the reveal of that was kind of botched, that they didn't reveal gameplay right off the bat, but hey, we'll get gameplay now, so it's going to be not that big of a deal at the end of the day, so we'll talk about that. State of Play has been officially confirmed. Tune in live for more than 35 minutes of updates and reveals from PlayStation Studios and partners around the world. Tune in live this Wednesday for more than 35 minutes of reveals and news from developers around the world. We'll share new looks at anticipated third-party and indie titles, plus updates from some of our teams at PlayStation Studios, including an extended look at Saros Housemarque's mysterious new title arriving next year. Look forward to nearly 5 minutes of gameplay captured on PlayStation 5. It would be great if we got a release date. With that, I would imagine that they are gonna go the route. I would say open up with Saros, get people excited right off the bat, then in the middle, do what you want to do. There's gonna be third-party showcases, and then at the end it with a gameplay trailer for Wolverine. Say that it's 2026. If we get that, the middle is just gonna be the icing on the cake. We already know that Saros is gonna be there, so that's already a huge W. Huge W right there. The middle can be whatever, as long as it's completely not a disaster of like just 3 fair games in a row. I think if you end with Wolverine and begin with Saros, people are going to be happy with that. And as far as opening and ending, that's just how I would structure it, because that would get people excited right away, and you would end it on a bang. Last year, they did the same thing with Yote, where they revealed it at the end of the fall 2024 State of Play, set it up for a 2025 release, and now Yote is coming out in a week. Do the same thing with Wolverine. That's the best way to do it. And if you do want to do a showcase next year, you can do a big gameplay demo for Wolverine sometime next year, or you could do a Wolverine dedicated State of Play like they did with Ghost of Yote. Whatever way they decide to do that, I think will be effective. I mean, Wolverine is going to be a game that I really do believe is going to sell itself. It's not one that needs a ton of promotion, but we need to get at least a re-reveal at this point. That game was revealed, what, 4+ years ago in 2021? Let's get an update on that. We know that the game has been making progress. It looks like it'll be a 2026 game. I would love to see more first-party announcements in the middle, or PlayStation published titles in the middle. The Stellar Blade crossover makes a lot of sense that we're gonna get the Stellar Blade update, whether that be a crossover. The Resident Evil speculation is certainly there, but yeah, if you look at that, if we get Saros, if we get Wolverine, if we get a Stellar Blade update, that to me, given that our expectation out of Sony these days is pretty much in the toilet when it comes to State of Play, you guys tell me, right off those 3, with Saros already being confirmed, Stellar Blade pretty much being confirmed, and then Wolverine being heavily speculated, if we get those 3, and let's say the rest of it is garbage that you don't care about, ideally, it wouldn't be that, but that is essentially the floor right now, that you get Saros, Wolverine, and Stellar Blade. If we get all 3 of those, that to me is already a B+ rating, and then if we get some good stuff in between all of that, that's an A. Like, I feel like this show is set up to be really good on the basis you already have a big game confirmed, you have a big game speculated, and you have, an accessory piece of content in Stellar Blade getting new content, and that's a beloved game published by PlayStation. If we get that God of War Metroidvania, that would already up this to an A, I feel, an A+ show, and then, they're gonna do a little bit of live service focus. I hope that PlayStation is selective about how much live service nonsense they show off, but at some point, you gotta give us the update on Fair Game. Is that game coming out? Are you guys gonna just release it and then shut it down in a week like Concord? At some point, we gotta do something about that game. That was supposed to come out this year. Haven Studios is in flux right now. I don't even know what's going on there. At some point, you either say, this game is canceled, or you reveal gameplay, because that game was revealed at Showcase 23 in one of the worst reveals of all time. Showcase something with that, because that's a game that still exists. The Horizon multiplayer project, you gotta show that off at some point. You would think that some of these games are gonna come in 2026, and if we can get a surprise announcement here or there of a remaster, ideally it would be a PlayStation 3-game remaster collection, that would be ideal, but you know, reading between the tea leaves, I could see Infamous Second Son getting a remaster just because they pulled that game from PlayStation Plus Extra, and it's like one of those random games that I could see them wanting to remaster, kind of artificially raising the price of the game and then porting it to PC as well, charging $39.99, $49.99 on that. But that's another thing. The PC ports, we haven't gotten a lot of announcements on existing games getting ported to PC. I think where some people are getting it twisted, some people are running laps like PlayStation's done porting games to PC. Guys, like Lost Soul Aside was a PlayStation published game that dropped on PC day one. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls is already confirmed for PC. It's just there's not a lot to port anymore outside of Astrobot. There is Demon Souls and Gran Turismo 7. Those are the 3 big games. And then Infamous Second Son is just one I'm throwing out there as one of those older titles that you could remaster, re-release it on PlayStation 5. Bro, they remastered Days Gone and Horizon Zero Dawn. If you're thinking they won't remaster Infamous Second Son, I think you're kidding yourself. I could totally see that getting remastered as a remaster nobody would really get excited for, but whatever, we're doing it anyway. And yes, Infamous Second Son does run at 60 FPS, but so did Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn ran at 60 FPS on PlayStation 5, so you know, take it for what you will. I could see a not a nonsense remaster, but a remaster where people are just gonna be like, what are we doing here? We can't get Ratchet Future? We can't get, you know, the older God of War games, but you're giving us Infamous Second Son? Could you imagine, like, Order 1886? Bro, Order 1886 is back with a remastered release. Dude, I would kind of pop for that, but nevertheless, I think with 35 minutes, the fact you're already confirming Saros, Wolverine is heavily speculated, Stellar Blade is pretty much confirmed as well, given that they're announcing something Stellar Blade related this week. Relatively speaking to recent state of plays, this is already a thumbs up with that in mind. Now, maybe Wolverine won't be here and will be incredibly depressed. That would be a disappointment for sure, but given that they already are confirming Saros, you would think that for a state of play like this, you have one other surprise under your sleeve. Otherwise, you wouldn't have even said Saros, and Saros' gameplay reveal would have been this big surprise. You would want to have some sort of surprise, and the fact that they're saying updates from some of our teams at PlayStation Studios, it's gonna have a first-party focus, at least to an extent. And Saros opening the show, Wolverine ending the show, Stellar Blade in the middle of the show, some sort of crossover. Don't expect something expansive with that, but that already to me is a pretty big W relative to some of the state of play. So I'm excited for it, but again, keep your expectations tempered. Don't expect Uncharted 5. Don't expect the next mainline God of War. And I think based on what I'm saying, it's all decent announcements that you can sink your teeth into. You would be setting up 2026 in a big way with 2 major first-party games in Saros and Wolverine, and given that 2024 had 1 game in Astrobot, and Astrobot isn't in line with your typical big-budget Sony first-party title, 2025 had 1 first-party release, 2023, 1 first-party release. The fact we're upping it to at least 2 and maybe some smaller games here and there, that's already a W to me. But that's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts and your expectations for State of Play tomorrow. Keep it somewhat in check. I feel like, you know, with my expectations relatively in check, I'm excited for the show, and the fact we're getting Saros gameplay, I think that'll set it up already to be a pretty big win. But that's gonna do it for me. Your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.